Hey folks, John with KGTropicals.com. All right, the plan for this 240-gallon African cichlid tank. What's the plan? I'm going to try to make this brief, but you know me, I'm not very good at that. So, basically, like I said in the very first video that I did about this, everything in this tank is going to change. And when I do the walkthrough of this tank, you're going to see why. Because the filter is just really not keeping up. And you know, the fish are starting to show signs of that, and it's just not, it's not right what's going on here. So everything's going to change. The decor, the substrate, the lighting, the filtration. But how are we going to do it? This is it's a challenge because we've got about 60 fish in there right now, and some of them are really big. So how do you do the whole thing and keep everything in line and keep everything happy? Well, the plan is going to go like this. The very first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and add the new filter, which should be coming today. And that is the Fluval FX6. I cannot wait to get that filter on this tank. I will not be removing the sump that's on the tank. I'm going to keep it there, and I'm going to keep it there for a couple of reasons. It's going to add additional filtration, which is never a problem. And also, it provides me with a place to keep the heaters and, you know, add medications if need be, or throw some salt in there. Do whatever I need to do. I can do it in the sump instead of straight into the tank, and I also don't have to have heaters hanging in the back and all of that kind of stuff, because what I want to keep is I don't want to be able to see any equipment at all, except for the returns, which that you don't really have a choice there. But I want to hide everything behind the 3D background that we have going on. We'll talk about that in a second. So I'm not going to remove the sump, but I am going to condense the sump. Right now, like I showed you in the walkthrough, we have 2 overflows and 2 returns. We're going to go down to just 1 and 1. We're going to take it down to 1 return and 1 overflow, and that'll provide us with enough. With the FX6, those 2 working together, this tank is going to be good to go. So that's going to be the first thing, because I want to get the tank, or excuse me, the filter good and ready. You know what I mean? So I want to get it on there as early as possible. And then the task is going to be the interior of the tank. And this is the one that poses the biggest challenge. Do I leave the fish in? Do I take them out? Well, I'm not 100% decided on that yet, because there is a big thing that I might do, and it might just send this project into a tailwind, and that is, or into a whirlwind, or whatever you say. You're gonna think I'm nuts, but it's very possible I literally just got splashed by a fish. I might spin this tank around. Now, I'm sure you saw them in the walkthrough that I did. This tank has a lot of scratches in it. The story is, we bought this tank used. We bought it off of Craigslist. This thing weighs like 400 pounds when it's dry. So to get it up onto a stand and manipulate it into place and all that is not exactly easy. So when we got it into place in the garage back at home, it was like, that's where it is, and that's where it's going to stay. So that's the back, this is the front, decision is made. And I didn't really notice all of these scratches and stuff like that until we got it full of water. But by then, the background was already painted and everything else, so it was like, well, we're stuck. Well, now that I'm doing this unbelievable project with this, I almost feel like it would be a shame if those scratches were still there. So this is what I'm going to do. Before I put up the background, I'm going to scrape that orange paint off of the back. I might even show that to you on video. I don't know why, but I might. And I'm going to inspect the other side of the glass. If the other side of the glass is nice and clean and there's no scratches, this bad boy is getting spun around. And if that's the case, then I'm going to have no choice than to remove the fish. So our plan is, if we do remove the fish, they're going to go in the 75 that you've seen in a lot of our videos that have the OBs in it. Right now there's the OBs in it. Used to have our frontosas in it, blah, blah, blah. It's a very heavily filtered 75-gallon tank. They'll be okay in that tank for a week or so if we have to do that. So I don't know yet. I don't know if that's going to happen. And that also leads to yet another problem, which is there was a leak on the back corner of the tank. It's hidden. You can't see that corner. So when I repaired it, I didn't drain the tank and repair the silicone. I just plopped it all on there, a big blob of silicone. It looks terrible. Well, if we spin this tank around, that's now going to be the front corner. So we're actually going to have to make a repair on that corner. And I'll show that to you on video too, because it's part of the project. So there's a couple of more complications that can come about because of moving the tank like that. But you know what? If I scrape that paint off, I might as well, because I'm putting a 3D background on, you're not going to see anything. If I scrape that paint off and the other side of the glass is perfect, this thing's getting spun. So I'm going to need some help. So anybody who wants to come over here help me spin this tank around, thanks. So that's that. That could be a huge complication to the project, but I don't know. I don't know if that's going to happen yet. And then once we get that situated, whether or not we're going to do that, then it's going to be time to get to work on the background. Like I said in the previous video, I'm going to be doing some alterations. It's early. It's like 7 o'clock in the morning here. I'm going to be doing some alterations to the 3D background, and they're alterations that have to be done to get the filtration to work properly. I'm going to show you all of that. You're going to see it. It's all going to be documented on video. So that's going to be fun. And you know, whether or not we spin this around is going to determine whether it's complicated, but you'll see all of it on video. And then of course, once we get that 3D background in place, thank you again to Caribseed. Thank you Caribseed too, but thank you to Universal Rocks. I can't wait for you folks to see this. Oh, I'm going crazy. Once we get that in place, then it's going to be time to add the Caribseed product, which is the African Cichlid Eco Complete white sand that we're going to be putting in this tank. This thing is going to look unbelievable, folks. So it'll start to move along a little faster once we actually have all the product here in the shop. We're supposed to be getting the Fluval stuff today. Maybe everything will come today. I don't know, but that's the plan. Filter first, then we're going to move on to the interior of the tank. The alterations to the 3D background, substrate. We'll get the tank situated, get the lights on. This is going to be fun. And you know me, I'm going to be as thorough as I can in explaining every single step of the process. For those of you who made comments that I ramble on too much, I'm sorry. I mean, you know, it is what it is. Ask Lisa. I don't only do it on video. When I talk about something, I talk about it all day long. So that's just the way I am. But most of you tend to like that because I get it all out. I'm thorough. That's the way I am. So can you tell I'm a little excited to get started on this project? I can't wait. Thank you again to all the manufacturers. Folks, when you see the logos and you see me pushing these products, do me a favor and show some love to those manufacturers. These are manufacturers that get love all day long because they're some of the best manufacturers on the planet. But let them know that you appreciate what they've done with this project. Let them know that you are contacting them because of this. That'll show them that, you know, they'll feel good about contributing to this project. So please show some love to our sponsors. Thank you to the sponsors. I got to make like 2 more videos today, so this is going to get crazy, and we're opening in just a couple hours. So thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next on the walkthrough of this tank. So have a good day. Thank you for watching.